this season has been long. That is an understatement of the year. I don't even know when the season really started, to be honest, but I would have to say this season, like, a lot of just like change and growth for in terms of like my game on the court and like my life off the court and the things I did kind of off the court, as well as just what I've been able to achieve on the court too. It's probably the most impactful season of my career, I want to say, and just a lot of change, a lot of growth. And looking back at it, there's been my best result of winning the Oracle NetSuite Open, and I've also had like some tough early round losses and kind of feeling plateaued in my career as well, and so needing to like make a change in terms of who I'm working with like my coaches and like my team, and feeling like I needed to shake things up and do things differently in order to, one, like be excited about the rest of my career, which I want to be because I've been doing this for a long time and I don't want to keep doing the same things over and over again. But also too, if I do want to make that jump up and really challenge the top players, like I knew I needed a change. So I think overall, like this season, there's just a lot that happened both on and off the court, but it's kind of made me really, really excited about my game and life in general and like the season to come. I have a very strong game naturally, and the way I've been doing things, I think, has gotten me so far. But the big thing was like the consistency of being able to be a bit more accurate, like with my shots, and consistent like where I'm placing the ball, and consistent in my movement, and making things a lot more efficient, which I knew there needed to be a bit of a change. But I just didn't know like who was going to help me make that change. So thankfully, like I found that down in Florida with Wael Hindi, and that's been amazing and like has totally made me excited about just the nature of my game, instead of focusing on like, oh, what do I need to do to like beat these players? Now it's like, oh, what do I need to do to just like make my game a little bit more complete and sustainable, and just elevate my game to the next level, and like trusting that the work that I'm gonna do with him in like over the next kind of few years is what's gonna get me to that next level. And you know, even if it doesn't work and we tried it and I didn't make that jump, that's okay, because I did something different. And honestly, like it makes me excited about my game again and the sport and like competing. So I think that's just kind of like the biggest thing that I'm like super happy about this season. Consistency and the accuracy, and being able to execute like my game plan for a long period of time. So it's not like, oh, being able to do that for a few points, but then like mentally and physically you drop off. It's like you have to be able, for these top players, like you have to be able to sustain for like 90 minutes if you want to beat them. And you can't really have any room, you can't afford any room of like margin of error at that level. And I think that's kind of like what I need to get a little bit better at, which I am, but it's more about just focusing on my game as well too, and like focusing on the things that I can improve on in my game, instead of focusing on like my opponents and like what they're doing. They're definitely like a notch above, but I think, you know, if say I have like an amazing day, I feel like I have the game to beat anybody, but it's just being able to be consistent, to have those days consistently, instead of just like having the one off and then it's like, and then a few like poor performances. And I think that's kind of key, is just, you know, when you're at that top level, what's going to keep you at the top is like consistently being able to perform really well over and over and over again. Even on days that you don't feel well, like finding a way to just sustain and hang in there and like find a way to win. So, I mean, it's all a learning process, and like I mean, I've said this probably a million times already in this interview, but it's just the fact that like with these changes, I'm actually excited to like play and compete for a few more years and like do something different, regardless of whether that's gonna make or like be the big break for me or whatnot. But you know, the fact that I kind of like trust my team and trust the work that we're doing and trust that the process that we're kind of going through is what's gonna take me for the top. So it's taken like a nice weight off of my shoulders. And kind of I've been a little bit under the radar just because everyone is like, oh, the Egyptians, the Egyptians, the Egyptians. So it's kind of taken pressure off of me where I can just go in and like play and have fun with it. But at the same time too, you know, I haven't really spent that much time training with Wild down in Florida. Like we put a really good 2-week block in before TOC and Worlds, and like those 2 weeks were it paid off, and like I noticed the improvements right away. So I'm just excited to actually have like a summer training block to put a lot of like good work in to see kind of how I do next season. Got to my highest world ranking, forgot about that. Yeah, revealed about my eating disorder, forgot about that. Bought a house, forgot about that. Got COVID, yeah, took 4 months off, boom. Changed my training base, yeah. Did I miss anything? Quiet, easy year.